Hello, beautiful people. Welcome. If this is your first time here, welcome back. If you are a returning supporter, I'm here to give you the disclaimers for this here live. Listen, I do not tolerate disrespect. That's in any way, shape, form, or fashion, whether it's towards me, towards anyone that appears on the screen, towards anyone that appears in the chat. If you have not decided to be a better person, most people will tell you to leave, but I'm going to tell you to stick around because maybe something that is said today will encourage you to do so. Now, I am not a mental health professional. I am just one woman willing to share my personal experiences to let you know two things. One, you are not alone, regardless of how much you feel like you are alone, how many times you have felt that, you are not alone. And number two, you can overcome anything that life throws at you. There will be curse words, there will possibly be tears, but knowing me, it probably will be. And my opinions are my opinions. Your opinions are your opinions. We are here to have a nurturing conversations in regards to our opinions so that we will have a better understanding of each other. That's all I got for right now. I hope that you enjoy this nurturing conversation. Let's get to it. Wait, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button that helps me say suggested on YouTube. Make sure that you type in the chat, also leave a comment, and share it with your friends. That's all I got. Let's get into this conversation. I love you. Hello, beautiful people. I hope that you all are having a wonderfully amazing Sunday. I know it has been a while since you have last seen my beautiful face for the Nurturing Conversations podcast. Do I like this light? Oh, I like that light. Um, I have been in a space that I wanted to talk to you guys, girls, non-binary people, about today. Because maybe I'm not the only person that has experienced this level of grief or these things as you are grieving. On this past week, earlier in the week, I believe I asked you guys to say a prayer for me and my family. This past Wednesday, I lost my father's brother to cancer. And so I was trying to work through it, like just continue to push through like I have always done. Unfortunately, I have been overcome by sadness and grief. And I've been just allowing myself to feel um, grief, to be sad, to understand why I am sad. I am really sad because 2 years ago I lost my father, and my uncle the was the person. My uncle and his lady was the ones who found my father 2 years ago. And so 2 years ago, my father passed away from prostate cancer, and then here we are, and his brother has passed away. And I just began to think about all the things that I've lost in the past 4 years. Growing up, I experienced a lot of loss. I went to a lot of funerals. Um, I lost a lot of really important people to me, and I feel like I was so used to just crying at the funeral and not really like taking into consideration that I lost those people. Cause for me, like even with my grandmother, like I had answer machine or voicemails, or I had like, you know, treasures, things to keep their memory, their hope alive. And so now as I sit here, I'm just thinking like I don't think I ever properly grieved anyone or anything. I think I just cried at the moment because it was sad. And I never really processed the fact that they won't be there anymore. I did say in my disclaimer that there will be tears, and I'm in a space right now where I don't hold tears back. You know, before I would be like, I'm not about to cry, but now I really don't care. Um, Earlier this year, I lost one of my cousins who, to me, he felt as though he's my brother, although he's my cousin technically. But he felt like my brother because we all grew up in the same house together. We went through a lot of the different struggles together. So he was my brother to me. But I lost him to start 2024. And it's in this moment that I'm just like, I never really properly grieved anybody. I think I was just so consumed with life that I didn't even have a moment, even with my father. Like, it was so much stuff going on at that time. I was sad. I had to plan a funeral. I had to pull together all of his different account, do everything. And I think I was just an autopilot. And like now I am sad and I'm just like, wow. Wow is what I was saying. Wow is like, I don't think you ever really, like, I was just sharing with my brothers. I was like, we all know that one day we will go, right? We're going to go one day, whether it's raptured up if you're religious, or, if you go by the way of the grave, water, however you go, we are all going to go one day. But I never even imagined that my parents will go. Like, we know that we will go, but I never even imagined that my father or my mother would go. My grandmother, my uncles, like my cousins. Like, I feel like I'm just so used to them being around that I never even thought about it. Like, what would it be like if they weren't here? I last year around this time, we were at the hospital dealing with my brother, my twin brother, um, and that was the scariest situation ever. And reality really set in on how swiftly you can lose somebody. Swiftly. I mean, if COVID hasn't taught us that, I mean, I just wasn't in a space where I was ready to accept the fact. And so just watching my brother endure, watching my mother endure what is going on with her, me experiencing my own health situations, my father, my uncle, my cousin, close friends that I've known like all of our lives. I just realized this week, like I never really grieved. And I think I was overwhelmed by it because I didn't have anything to focus on. I don't have anything to like occupy my brain right now or occupy my time. So it's heavier on me right now. Um, Usually I would be so consumed with making sure my platform or making sure this, but I decided um, back in September when I was on a cruise, I decided that I'm not going to worry. Whatever comes to my life, I'm just going to accept it as it is. Um, I I was an avid fighter of a lot of things, and I'm not saying that I'm giving up. I'm just saying that I am taking a season of rest. That's what I'm doing. I'm acknowledging the feelings that I have. I am loving on my family members. I am loving on myself. And I am just allowing things to be as they are. And it really, like, the thought of grief and going into grief, I just, like, I literally jumped down a rabbit hole. It's like, we don't really talk about grief. We like, "Oh, okay, somebody passed away or something happens to you, you cry." Like, I didn't even understand that you have to grieve relationships, or you have to grieve people who are still alive. I did not, that was so foreign to me. I was like, you'd be sad because you're like, hey, I thought we were going to be forever, but it's not forever. And then it's like you make all these plans and hopes and dreams and aspirations. And you're like, yeah, we're going to do this and we're going to do this. And then as you're journeying and you're doing those things alone, it's like, damn, I thought wow, reality sets in. And there was a time I was angry and I couldn't even understand why I was angry. I just knew that I was angry. And then I started to think about my father, right? And I was like, all, all of my life, all of my life, I just wanted to spend, hang out with my father. And it was like life had other plans. And then the last 6 years of my life, so I only got 6 years to really spend with my father, enjoy the time. Even when he came and sat down and talked to me about what was going on with him, I couldn't even be mad. I wasn't even angry in the moment. I wasn't angry. I was just like, hey, make up for lost time. Let's spend as much time as we can. And that was like the best 6 years of my life. And that's saying a lot. That's saying I did a lot of things in my life, but that's saying a lot. And for me, having the opportunity to spend 6 years with, but it wasn't until after he passed away, after being cremated, after all of that, I'll say like last year, it dawned on me and I was angry and I was like, how can I go my entire life wanting to spend time with this man who was a part of my life? Like, he's the reason why I am here. And I didn't get enough time. And I was just so angry. And then I began to ask myself, why are you angry? And as I began to reveal those things, like, I was salty that I only had my father for 6 years, like my entire life, but I was so, I was hurt. I wish that the things that I'm accomplishing right now, I could tell him the things he told me that was going to happen, because I was in a happy place. I just wished it was different. Hey, happy. I wished it was different. And then it was like, you have moments where, like, I look at my mom and we'll go to the Goodwill and she will be in there for hours. And I'm not exaggerating on the hours. I mean, hours. And it seems like we are looking at the same things. But then I stopped thinking about, oh my God, we are in here for hours. But I started thinking, like, I am able to spend time with my mother. Like, my mother could have passed away in 2022, and I could be grieving my mother and my father. But my mom is still here, and we can go to the grocery store. We can go to the Goodwill. I can sit by her house and watch All Rise, a show that I never even knew of, but she just happened to be searching Hulu and was like, oh, you got to watch this show. And now we've been watching the show. Like, for me, it's like I went on this journey of healing and self-discovery because I was really tired of carrying around my childhood, my young adulthood. I was tired of carrying around those things. And it was seemed like I could only focus on the negative things. All kinds of amazing, positively radiant shit happened to me in my life, but I could only focus on the negative things. And so in 2020, I was like, I'm gonna go on a journey of healing and self-discovery. And I'm gonna be light, love, and positivity. And I was literally telling someone the other day, actually it was yesterday. I went and was at a creative presentation for my business, and I had saw one of the young men that I haven't seen in years. And I saw him and I was like, "Oh my God, how are you?" And the first thing he said, he was like, "I'm healing." And I felt my heart leap. I felt my heart leap. And I was just like, "Tell me about this healing. Tell me about your journey of healing." And he was just telling me, and my eyes started to water. And I was just like, I told her, like, I'm not in a space where I'm going to wipe them. No, I'm going to let them roll because I have endured a lot. I've overcome a lot. I am grateful for every experience I've ever had in my life. And I realize that um, in those moments where you feel as though you want to cry, cry. I've come to understand that that's my body's way of releasing the things that is in me. And so I cried. Um I've cried a while. I was at the creative corridor, and I was there putting my business, like we're presenting our business to other creatives or people that come and we're sharing about our business. And I realized that moment, like, this wasn't, while it was set up to be for us to talk to other people about our business, we were actually talking to each other and encouraging and uplifting and supporting each other. And I walked away like, man, even in sadness, even even while I'm sad, people were still pouring into me. They were still, I made a joke like they were gaslighting. Gaslighting is not a joke, but I made a joke like, you guys are just pouring into me. It seems like you're gaslighting me, but the reality of it is you're only giving to me what I've already given out. And so I left there, and I'm just like, what's going on? Why do I feel so sad? Of course, I lost my uncle on Wednesday, but yesterday was my friend's birthday. He passed away COVID. And it was just like, man, like, I don't know how I like not how I've never realized this before. I mean, I then again I do know how because I was too busy. I stayed busy so I didn't have to cry. I stayed busy so I didn't have to think. But when you go on a journey of healing and self-discovery, life has a way of clearing out all of the distractions. Now all you have to do, you have nothing but free time to think. So I've been thinking, and I was just like, there's so many different things I wanted to do this year that I accomplished. There's so many places I wanted to go, all with the exception of California. I was supposed to be in California last week, and I said to myself, if I would have been in California and they had told me my uncle had passed, I would have been devastated. They had told us a couple of weeks ago, I think it was like 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago, they gave him 2 weeks to live, and he just passed away this past Wednesday. And I started to think about that. I was like, when you know that when there is a time frame on when you're going to pass away, I don't, for me personally, that doesn't make it easier. For me, it was like, so you have to endure until you just take your last, like you have to go through everything until you take your last breath. Like for me, that is tough. Tough. The night before he passed away, I went over to his house. Now he was able to speak and talk and all of those, but the night before I went to his house, I mean the night before he passed away, I went to his house, and they're like, he can't speak anymore. I said his hearing is the last thing to go. And so, I just told him I loved him and I looked at him, and I was just like, wow. You ever see like somebody that's just like the strongest person ever, like the most, like that was my uncle. Like he's the strongest person I know. Like he's a no nonsense type of guy. And then just to see him, it was just like, wow. And then I thought about my dad and his battle with cancer. And I was just like, God, you got two brothers. Cancer got two brothers in a matter of years. I just, sadness is all I just think about is sadness. And when you think about grief, right, people are like, oh, just cry. You're going to cry. But time heals all wounds, is what people say. And the holidays are coming up. My grandmother passed, my uncle passed the first week of November 1995, and my grandmother passed Thanksgiving night of 1995. So November has always been tough for me. Thanksgiving has always been tough for me. And regardless of how much fun or many things I plan to do in November, I am always overwhelmed with sadness. And it wasn't until recently, it was just like, I never even thought of like what my life would be like without my grandmother. I never thought like my uncles spoiled me. Like I just realized, like I found out it's not funny. I thought my uncle, who just celebrated a birthday, he's no longer with us, God bless the dead, but he just celebrated a birthday on the 22nd. I thought he was the youngest. However, I just found out that my auntie, is the youngest. All of my life, I thought my uncle was the youngest, but it wasn't until like just talking, just having family conversation, and I was like, "Wait, you're the youngest?" I don't know. It's so many different things I learned in this past year, and not just that. Like that was, I was just, he's got to be the youngest because he got to be. But I just realized so many different things that I learned throughout the years that I never even paid attention to. I just threw it in the back of my head, like, okay, I'm gonna store that back there for another time. Well, in the process of me grieving, I've been pulling things out of the back, and it was just like, wait a minute, this is so wild to think that losing someone can really change your life. Losing I remember having a conversation with my uncle. He's no longer here. So let's see. My grandmother had four kids. It's my mom, my uncle James, my uncle Ed, and my auntie Ducky. Those are their like nicknames, is what we call them. So out of all four of her kids, only my mom and her younger sister are alive. My grandmother is no longer alive either. So that's on my mom's side. On my dad's side, my grandfather and grandmother are no longer alive. My uncle Ricky now, my father, um, there's my uncle Mark, my auntie Sharon, and then I have a uncle Kevin that passed away. So it's like literally two siblings on each side. And as I'm thinking about it, I thought like, here my family has lost their sibling. I don't, like they talk about a parent is supposed to die before the child, all of that or whatever. But there is nothing more, there is nothing more, um, I'm going to say heartbreaking than when you are a child. There is something more, but for me, as me, there's nothing more heartbreaking as a child than to have to be your parents. Because people don't talk about what it's like to lose a parent. Like you hear, like people who lost a parent. We hear people talk about the loss of their mother. Like that's something I'm not even trying to think about. I know one day it's going to happen. I'm not even trying to think about it. And I think that's the denial part of it. But the loss of my father really put a lot of things into perspective for me. It helped me understand. um, my upbringing and why I did a lot of the things that I did, or why I like a certain type of individual, why I feel like these things are necessary to be involved in a relationship with me. Like there's so many different things I learned um during and since, and like no one talks about what it's like to lose a parent. And when I look at my when I look at my auntie and she lost my cousin this earlier this year, that grief, that sadness, and I'm just talking to her and I was like, "Auntie, you should start like sharing your experience." Because I feel like we don't talk about death a lot. We don't talk about death. We don't talk about grief unless somebody dies or unless somebody is dying, then we'll talk about it only for a brief second. But I feel like I have had so many near death experience. I actually coded a couple of times in my life, and not for drugs or anything, just like story time. I'll give y'all story time about that's what I'm saying. Like I I was sitting this week and I thought in 2022 I had a major surgery. I had a surgery so major that I didn't even think about the significance of the surgery. I was just like, I don't even know how I made it through 2022. I clearly do not know how I made it through 2022 or 2023 because that was, I don't even know. But I had major surgery and I didn't even think about the significance or how it would affect anyone other than me. I surrounded myself with people that I knew were strong. I made sure that my affairs were in order. It was so thinking about it now, it's just like I was really like, if I died, I would have died. I didn't even think about living. I just don't know how the hell I survived 2022. Had a major surgery. They were telling me I had cancer. They were like, hey, you got to go do, what are you going to do? You're going to do chemo. Like, what are you going to do? And I just don't think my brain registered any of what they were saying. I don't think it did until after I talked to my mom and she was just looking at me like, "Wait, what? This what?" And I said to myself like, "I need to surround myself with people that's not going to be crying over me, but that's going to make sure that I'm good." And for me, it was more important about being of a sound mind going into a major surgery where they told me I went into surgery at 6:30, and I didn't get out of the surgery until 3. I didn't make it to a room until 3. When I think back to the surgery, it was so many decisions that I had to make, like, on the spot. I didn't make them on the spot, of course. I was like, "No, I need some time to think about what's going on," and I don't really think I thought about it. I think I just was trying to prepare the people around me for the decisions that I had to make, and as I was making those decisions, I was just thinking, I never thought, like never thought about what my life would be like after making those decisions. I just like either I'm going to die or I'm going to live. And either way, I lived a hell of a life. So I'm going in here with strength, love, positivity, and we'll see what it's like on the other side. And then when I came to on the other side, I was just like, I can't fucking believe I just made it through that. I had to grieve the person that I was before the surgery. Before the surgery, I could work out. I would clean. Let me tell you, before I had the surgery, I could clean my whole house. could put on Janelle Monáe's Dirty Computer, and by the end of the actual album, my entire house would be clean. After the surgery, I put on Janelle Monáe Dirty Computer, and I am exhausted by once the first room, and that's like halfway through the first song. I am exhausted. I had to grieve the fact that I have 200 plus workouts on my YouTube channel, and now I struggle every day when it comes to working out because I'm afraid, or I was afraid. I said to myself today, I said, we're not going to play the fear game anymore. We're going to get up in the morning and we're going to exercise. Even if it's for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, we're going to exercise because I am not going to be um, stopped by fear. So I walk. I do a lot of walking now. Like I want to work out. I want to do all kinds of things. But then when I get ready to do it, my mind is like, is that what you really do? Are you ready for that? I'm like, you're right. I'm not ready. But now it's like, I can't keep sitting by hoping and praying and not like doing. I was walking the other day to the bus stop and I was just like, I'm not working out because I'm afraid that I'm going to hurt myself. But I'm already in pain every day, anyways. I'm not working out because I'm afraid that I won't be able to complete the workout. The fact that I'm able to do the workout, the fact that I'm even able to walk from my house to the bus stop, I, I'm. It's like I come up with excuses on why I can't do things, and that hasn't been me. That's I'm not somebody that'll make up an excuse why I can't do something. I'm always, oh, this is what I need to do. I'm doing it. So I've been dealing with a lot this year. I uh, definitely dealt with imposter syndrome. So many different things has happened to me. Um, I'm talking about grief today. If you just joined, hi, I'm Chelle. I'm talking about I didn't know like okay, there's grief when someone dies. That's grief. There's grief when a relationship ends. That's grief. I've had to grieve the person that I was before a major surgery. That's grief. There's different things that come with grief. There's like anger, there's fear, there's all these different things that nobody really talks to you about. So I just thought I'll share some of my experiences. Um, so yeah, so I'm going to start working out again. Um, I was afraid to juice because I wasn't really sure how to, like they were like, oh, you have to have this surgery, but they didn't tell me like how did I get to the point where I have to have a major surgery. And then I started to think like when they were like, hey, this is cancer. And I kid you not, when they said cancer, I literally heard want, want, cancer, want, chemo, want. And I was just like, how did I just fall down 5 stairs and I got cancer? It didn't make sense for me. It, it didn't make sense for me. And then for a year, the prior year, my father passed away from cancer, and now like my uncle passed away from cancer. It's like cancer sucks. Cancer truly, truly sucks. And I thought back, right? Now they were like, you got to make these decisions. You got to do decisions. Like, and they were like, oh, you're gonna do chemo. We got to start. All of these. Like, they make you seem like you have to make those decisions at that time. I probably should have made those decisions at that time, but I was not going to do it. You are not going to stubborn. Sometimes being stubborn is a blessing. Stubborn. I was like, no, I'm just going to smoke. I'm going to be so high. I've never had edibles, but I was like, I'm going to eat an edible and I'm just going to be high. I'm just going to be happy. I lived an amazing life. That's where I was at. And then I thought, what if I would have took the chemo when they said you have to take it because your cancer antigens and it's cancer and it's cancer. That's all I kept hearing was cancer. And I would have went and did chemo. And then after 12 days to be exact, after I had the surgery, they say, you don't have cancer. So I would have introduced this to my body and I don't have. It's like I'm processing now. I'm processing. And I feel like everything is like coming to like this because I feel like after I process or walk through or accept, acknowledge, and decide what I'm going to do next with all of this stuff, I feel like that thing I've been wanting my entire life is right there. I'm literally at the door. I literally just said this to my brother. I feel like I am at the door of that place I envision myself being my entire life. Like I literally said 2020, I was going to go on a journey of healing self discovery. I literally said, when I get to that point, I would have released everything that was holding me back my entire life. And I literally feel like I am at that point. I was watching a show, and it was Grey's Anatomy's last week, Grey's Anatomy. And one of the intern's sister had cancer. If you didn't watch Grey's Anatomy, I'm sorry, I'm giving you a spoiler alert. Um, so she had cancer, and one of the things was she was like, am I going to be able to have kids? And her sister was like, she's young, so her sister started doing all this research, and I thought to myself, like, I was so defeated in the moment that they were telling me the process of what was going to happen, or what could happen, or what would happen through all of this, that I made a decision that now I would have sought alternatives. But at the time, I was so defeated. I kid y'all not, I was so defeated. I've heard, uh, I've heard cancer 4 times in my lifetime. 4. There was breast cancer, ovarian cancer. Um, breast cancer was twice. Ovarian cancer, and then this last round of cancer. I just I can't. I was so like over it. And I feel like that's why I didn't really care about the outcome, cuz my life my I done amazing things in my life. So I really didn't care. It's like cancer is really trying to 4 times, really trying to get me. Um but I just, now as I'm thinking about it, I'm in a clear space. I don't have, like I said, any distractions. I'm in a clear space and I'm just like, I need to grieve properly. I need to allow myself time to be sad. I know when I was growing up, a lot of the people used to be like, you don't let them see you sweat. Don't let them see you cry. Don't show no emotions. So I was sucking up tears and just walking through life. And now it's like, I can't stop crying. And I don't care who sees me cry. I don't, because I'm a human being and I'm sad. I'm really sad because I was talking to my friends, and he's deeply in the church. Like he when I say he's like Jesus' right hand man, deeply in the church. And he said something to me. He lost his parents and he lost his cousin, which is my friend, which is his cousin. And he said, the only people that cared for him or showed him compassion or loved on him while he was enduring grief or depression was the people that the church preached about. He said it was the gays, it was the thugs, it was those people that came and called him and hugged him and made sure he ate. And me, as somebody who grew up in church and understanding how the church speaks that they operate, that affected me. that it, it hurt me in a space where I was hurting for him. It didn't happen to me, but I was hurting for him to hear the hurt in his voice and know like he rides for like he's a diehard ride or die. Like that's him. And for him not to feel the love from the people that's actually supposed to give love, but it he found it with us. And I'm saying us because I'm a member of the Alphabet Mom. And like he found it with us, not in church all the time. That's not preaching or carrying a Bible. Like for to hear him say that was just like, wow. But then when you think about it, when you read the Bible, if you ever read the Bible or whatever religion you believe in, God really spent a lot of his time with the homongers, the lepers, the sick, all of those people. That's who God hung out with. But to hear him say it, I was sharing with people like my experience growing up in a cult, and people try to tell me you can't call it a cult, it's church. I I will until my mind is like changed. It will be that for me. Um, but I share my experiences growing up, and I didn't have the religious freedoms as everybody else had. I didn't have the opportunity to worship freely. I didn't have that. Yes, I grew up in church, but it was something different for me. And most people be like, "Is that why you feel the way you feel about God?" No, I kind of always felt the way I felt about it's. I have too many questions, and not like in a like cynical way, but like real life questions. Like people just can't answer, and I just can't believe in something that I don't understand, I don't get, I can't believe in it. It's a lot of things I don't believe, I don't do because I just don't believe in it. I'm one of those who if I can't like if I don't feel it, if I don't I can't be fake. I can't I wish for a large majority of my life I wish I could, but I can't. That's just something that's built. I just can't. I will just be silent rather than say anything. I just can't. I began to grieve my experience when it came to religion. And I know you probably like, how do you grieve? I literally didn't have the opportunity to have an experience like that. My experience was totally different. Grieving, when you think about grief, you probably think like, oh, my cat passed away, or my pet passed away, or I have to leave this job. Like, imagine working at a job for 20, 30 years and then they just lay you off. It's like, what? You're going to feel some kind of way not having that. Like, people talk about divorce or breaking up. And it's like, oh, we broke up. Let's go do something new. But it's like, no, you spent a large majority of your life with that person. Like, you have to process that space between like I was with you and now I'm no longer with you. Like that's a process. I think in today's society, we don't care anything about processing because it's like, let me get off of you and get on top of somebody else, or let me go out here and date or turn up and party. And I just wasn't in that space. I'm not in that space. I'm not in the space. I've been doing puzzles because I find like that calms me. I was so overwhelmed yesterday. I couldn't do anything but cry. I turned on Grey's Anatomy. I did watch um The Supremes
eat at Earl's all you can eat or something like that. I'm gonna do a video about it because it was a really great movie. But I did watch that and I laughed and cried through the entire movie, and I was just like, man, I just cannot shake this sadness. And then we come until today, and I was just like, oh my God, that's what it is. I've never acknowledged grief. I just cried at the funeral. You're at the funeral crying because it's like, oh my God, everyone's sad. So I'm crying. But even with my father, like, I literally was like, oh my God, I was so angry. I got to make sure the funeral, I got to do all of these different things that I never even took a moment and just was like, damn, my father is really gone. I look at my brothers because all I have is brothers. I don't have a sister, so I can be like, oh, look at my. But I look at my brothers and I look at them being fathers, and I make sure to give my sisterly advice about spending time with your daughters and your sons and being there for them. And I'm gonna say this to you if you're listening. It is more important to the child that you are there. You show up for field trips, baseball games, hockey, gymnastics, chess meets, field trips, pumpkin farms, zoo, farms, whatever. It's more important that they see you there. Trick or treat. It's more important that they see you there. I think a lot of times parents get so lost in other people's opinions. That's why we dress our kids up in all the name brand clothes and fashions. Because if you think about it, you could take your child and get them some Sonic light ups or some Princess light ups, and they would be cool. They would be happy because their shoes light up. But you as a parent can't let that happen because no child of mine's. And I just be thinking like all the things we spend so much of our time worrying about or thinking about. I said, um, I really want to do van life. I really, I've been wanting to do it for a long time. I kind of got a little taste of it 9 years ago when I was homeless, but I feel like that wasn't a decision that I made. That was something that I was thrust up in. But I feel like now I'm ready to do it. Like I wanna I'm like, oh, I need to get a sprinter, but I'm like, I'm watching all these people turn. Like, there's a guy who turned a Kia Rio into a sleeping vehicle. He does DoorDash. I think his name is Mike something, but he does DoorDash and everything out of his Kia Rio, and he saved up $65,000 to build a tiny home. I think in Florida, Atlanta, somewhere in the South. And I was like, I'm at the point where I just want to. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I literally, I was just sitting in my room earlier today, and I was like, I wonder if I could just order a dumpster and put all of the things that I don't need. So of course, I would take all of my recording equipment and stuff, and I probably wouldn't put that in my vehicle, but I would put that at my brother's house or somewhere, and I would just live out of my truck because I'm over bills. I mean, of course, I'm gonna have to still keep my vehicle filled and stuff like that, but I'm over bills. I'm over it. I'm over it. I really just wish like I could like tour the world on an paid trip. Take a cruise from here to like Italy and then go through Europe and hit Africa and then come back. That's what I wish I can do for 2025. See the sights, see the world. I feel like I've been paying bills for nine years. I was homeless 9 years ago, but for 9 years I've been paying bills and I've been faithful in paying bills. I looked, I'm gonna tell you, I had to grieve my bank account. I literally had to grieve my bank account. I don't know if I was just having a lot of, I don't know. I don't know what my life was like, but I was definitely living the high life. And I never even checked my bank account. I was signing up. I got Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Showtime, Stars, Peacock, Spotify, all of them, right? And I never even thought to see how much they were. I just got them when I got them. And I never paid attention to the emails or nothing. And then this year, like actually a couple months ago, I said, let me check my bank account because something is off. So I checked my bank account. I said, I'm spending 40 something dollars, $42 some change on Hulu. Why? When I think about it, I barely watch streaming. Then I remembered, oh, you got Showtime and Stars for Power and The Shy. And then you got Disney Plus because you have nieces and nephews who come over all the time. And then you was watching Peacock for Bel Air. And then you watching, I don't even remember why I got Paramount Plus, but I got Spotify Family. So, and then I was like, let me check my emails because I never got a notice. And I'm looking at my emails. It's like, your account will be going up. Your account will be going up. Then I saw Netflix is like $25. I said, I don't even watch Netflix. And then it's when you really want to watch it that you'll be like, dang, I see now why I'm paying it. See now why I'm paying it. I even had to start paying attention to my bank account because I just set it and forget it. I be seeing these commercials. Are you someone who signed up for a lot of subscription services? And I had to go through my bank account and figure out which subscription service I was signed up for. I got rid of Paramount. Actually, well, I got rid of so I was paying Paramount and Showtime through Hulu, and I was paying an additional Paramount on the outside. I have Disney Plus through Hulu, but I was paying the 15 $16 for Disney Plus, and I was just like, wait a minute, you're doing too much. Let's cancel these things. Do this. I even had to cancel my internet. I've had Spectrum for 9 years and I was only paying $60. And I was excited because Spectrum, and I was only paying $60. And something said, check your bank account. I looked at my bank account. I have been paying for the last year and a half $100 for Spectrum. And my internet was so slow. And I was like, wait a minute, why am I paying y'all $100? And my internet is slow. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get that T Mobile. I'm going to go ahead and get that T Mobile 5G hotspot. So I got that. I ain't had no problems with my internet, and it's far cheaper than Spectrum. And I was thinking to myself, it's like, I just really was out here being a business professional. No, I was really out here just not paying attention to anything really. I was like I was on autopilot. And I realized um I had told myself in September, I was like, okay, October, November, December is the holidays. I'm gonna spend time with my family. I'm gonna get my business platforms together. I'm gonna do all these different things. Just focus on me. And then I just started paying attention to the things that was happening around me, and I was just like, man, life really has changed. My mom got sick. I got sick. My brother got sick. My father was sick. My uncle was sick. Like sickness is just like here, and it's not like COVID, it's like cancer and high blood pressure and all kinds of stuff. And I just said, I really want to be healthy. I really want to be around for a long time. I got a video with some, these are old videos, but I got videos where I'm doing mukbangs of food, but that's old. I'm still gonna upload them because I made them. I just didn't upload them. But yeah, I just want to be around. I was looking at my niece and nephews like, man, I lived in this house for 9 years and they've all grown up in this house. And now I'm just like, I want to go live in a truck. I want to go live in a van. I feel like I've been wanting to do that for a long time, but I was just afraid to do it because I'm just like, well, how am I? But now it's just like, I don't know. I was looking at my room and I have like these dressers, like dressers and nightstands, like those was a thing back when I was a teenager. Like you had to have the bed, the matching headboard, the dresser, the chest, the what you call it with the mirror on it, all that. Now I'm looking at my room like I'm ready to get rid of all of those things. I was looking at all the shoes I have. I was like, I wonder if I could put these up on like StockX or something and like sell them. Like I really want to get rid of everything except for my recording equipment. Except for my recording equipment and podcasting stuff, I will take those things with me. But I really just want to like put everything, get a dumpster and just. And I probably could do like a rummage sale or donate to Goodwill. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out because I really like over the years I have really been downsizing. I kind of am a minimalist. I think the most filled room is this room. Everything else, I have a TV and a couch in the living room, but I mean everything else is like minimalized because minimalized. But yeah, I just wanted to come and share. I feel a lot better. I'm not as sad I was when I first started talking. I feel a lot better talking to you guys about grief and how if you feel like you need to cry, cry. If you're angry, ask yourself, why are you angry? If you're afraid, ask yourself why you're afraid. What are you really afraid of? I was telling somebody, like, I had a fear of being successful, not because I didn't think that I could be successful. I just knew that when I was successful, I had downplayed myself for so long that me being successful meant that I had to show up. I had to show up for myself. I had to be who I always knew that I could be. And so this year, I've watched myself do some really amazing things. Um, the other night, I got to work a table. Well, I'm sit on a board of a local venue here, and I got to watch as Jack White played. And one of the artists that I worked with, um, he got requested to open up for Jack White. And so I thought that was the most amazing thing, like in the world, when a world renowned rock and roll person requests you for them and nobody referred you, nobody was, hey, put in a good word. Nobody did any of that. They just looked and was like, I want this person. That made me, it wasn't made me proud. Like, that's super dope. Like things are happening. Like I got a letter. It's in another room. I got a letter from one of my local senators. We're saying, congratulations on your. How does a senator know me? Like, I don't know him. They just sent me a letter. And I was just like, holy cow, a senator actually sent me a letter congratulating me on what I'm doing. And then I had other people. I got news articles written about me. It's all these different things. And this is where the imposter syndrome came in because it was like, I don't feel like I didn't feel like I deserved all of these things to happen, but I did the work. I did the work for them to happen, but I didn't deserve for them to happen. You see how that's like? And so then I just had to like, no, I did the work. I did the work. I said I wanted to do a concert series. I did the work and did the concert series. I want to do Summerfest. I did the work and did Summerfest. I want to do music business seminars. I did the work. I've been doing the work and to see the work that I've did. I said 2023 actually when I was on my bed of affliction. That's what they call it in church. I didn't do anything. I had just had a major surgery, and tell me why I was up trying to like do everything, and life was like, no, sit down, and I don't want you to do anything but just sit heal. That 2022 to 2022 to January 1st. Actually, I'm gonna say March 18th, 2022 until March March of 2022 to March of 2024. I literally did nothing. I mean, I planned, I threw out ideas, but I literally did nothing. I did nothing but heal and recover and try my best to get out of not doing anything. But I just did nothing but dealt with me selfishly. I was so selfish. I dealt with me. And then March of 2024, all while I was down, I was like, when I get up, you ever made a promise like, hey, if you get me out of this trouble, I will do. I said, when I get up from where I am, I want to speak publicly about my business. I want to speak publicly about healing. I want to speak publicly about music administration. These are the things that I want to do. Um, Earlier this year, I lost my cousin in January. So I went to the funeral and everything. Came back between the funeral and I don't know where I caught the flu. So I was down with the flu all of the end of mid January all the way to like March. Caught the flu, had vitiligo. A lot of things happened. And then I started getting speaking engagements. I spoke on podcasts, I spoke on panels, and I was just like, I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm doing all this. But I remembered when I was down, I said, if you give me the opportunity, if you make the way, I will do it. And that's the spot I've been in. And I was like, you know what? I've always been a woman of my word. So if I say I'm going to do something, I definitely make good on that, whatever it is. So that's why I be careful about the things that I say. But I have been able to literally do everything that I said I wanted to do. And to think about it is just amazing. I was sharing a story about being able to witness Jack White request one of the artists that I work with, Nile X Nile, because they were asking me like, so what are you gonna do about or what's the status of the series for 2025? And I was just like, it's up there, it's in the air. I just haven't thought about it. I haven't thought about it mainly because I mean, I can't say I haven't thought about it. I have thought about it. I just haven't given any of my time and attention to it because I have grandioso. If you thought 2024 was big, I have super, I'm going to speak it out loud right now. I have super big hopes and dreams. There's this local venue I want to host it at, and it's called the Vivarium. I want to do a music business seminar before the concert, and then like, okay, so the music business seminar maybe 3 to 6, 3 to 5. I don't know. I'm gonna figure out the times, and then the concert follows directly after like that. That's how I want it to go. I want to book 25 artists at Summerfest this year. I want to attend South by Southwest 2025. 25 I want to book 25 artists on across multiple stages for Summerfest 2025 or I will book. There we go. I will book 25 artists across multiple stages for Summerfest 2025. I will attend South by Southwest 2025. I'm also submitting my business to be considered for pitching for South by Southwest 2025. I will attend Music Tectonics 2025. I will attend Music Biz. These are music conferences. 2025. I will become a van lifer 2025. I feel feel like I could do that. I really feel like I can do it. I feel like I can do that. Muse Sample will be the go-to platform for every music creative looking to solidify their music career. I am the greatest music administrator this side of heaven. Let's see. That's all I got for right now. Those are the things that have been brewing in my mind as I'm like, excuse me, grieving. And I workouts. Let me get them that I will find my rhythm with workouts and juicing. I will have the discipline to continue fasting, juicing, and working out. There we go. You have it's all in the language that you speak. If you haven't figured it out, the shift. Someone was like, actually, it wasn't somebody. It was my little brother. He was like, "You're so positive. You always got positive things to talk about." And I was like, I realized how I only focused on the negative things all my life was because that's all I highlighted, I paid attention to. That was it. 2020, I shifted my focus from the negative to positive, and things started to happen. Waking up every morning and meditating and doing positive affirmations. I still meditate every day and every night and multiple times throughout the day. I still walk in the grass. I hug trees. I do all of those things. I just haven't been going live lately because I've been in a space. But we're going to get back to there. And I'm not in a rush to get there. I'm going to get back to there. I am. I've already got videos edited. I just got to upload them. I'm slowly, before I will be rushing, trying to, ooh, let me, mm-mm. I'm taking my time. I'm 44 years old. I have completed everything I ever set out to do. I'm enjoying this space right now. I'm enjoying it. Spending time with my nieces and nephews, painting, flashcards, playing the game, all just things I felt like my life was too busy for before. I mean, I'm still the greatest auntie this side of heaven. I'm the greatest auntie, period. You might feel how you feel, but it's like I'm so excited. I had never been to Five Below. Are you excited about Five Below? Yes, I am excited about Five Below. I'd never been to Five Below, and my I had got my nieces and nephews hooked on Target because every time they do good at school, I take them to the red place as they call it. It's Target. They call it the red place. If you ever hear them say, "Did we going to the red place?" It's Target. But I'm so excited to take them to Five and Below because I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna save a lot of money." It's Five and Below, and I went in there and I was like, "Oh my God, they are going to have a field day in this store." I had a field day. I had to walk out. I was watching these people do ASMR with like gummy fruit, and I was like, "Where do they find this stuff?" I went to Five and Below. They have racks and shelves of all sushi, chicken, macaroni, everything. I was like, oh, this content. Once I get past, I'm about to get this content. So I just been planning. And previous to now, I didn't plan. I was just doing. But now I feel like I'm in a stage of planning. I'm being more strategic with my time. Before I was giving you get time, you get time. Now it's like, eh. I only come outside when I want to. But this year I've been outside. I've been outside a lot. And that was another part where it's like I felt like I didn't want to be outside. I didn't want to be around anybody. I just like being in my house. And now it's like I'm ready to go outside. What's going on? I'm ready to go to other countries, other places. I'm ready to get on boats, planes, and trains. I'm just ready to do that now. I thought about, when you're younger, you're like, I'm gonna move away and I'm gonna do this. And I was like, now that I'm older, it's like my mom, everyone in my family is centrally located here. So I will probably go and visit and stay for a little bit, but I'm gonna come back because everybody is here. Like I feel like Wisconsin is just me. I want to go and travel the world, but Wisconsin is just me. I hate every time it be cold and snowy outside, but Wisconsin is just me. But I just want to come and talk to y'all about grief and how if you feel like you need to cry, cry. If you are afraid or you're angry or you're having the feelings, acknowledge the feelings, accept them, acknowledge them, accept them, and then figure it out from there. Don't make hastily decisions. If you have to make a decision, breathe, sleep on it. I know sometimes it's like, oh, but I need to answer right away. I pray about it if you pray, meditate on it if you meditate, but don't make a decision in haste. I'm glad that situations turned out the way they did, where I was able to be here and spend time with my uncle before he transitioned. I'm glad that I was able to tell people that I love them, how much I love them. I'm glad that I can still do that. Like I can call them, "Hey, happy birthday," or "I was just thinking about you. You were on my heart." If you have someone who drop on your heart or your mind, like right now, you're probably listening to me, and someone has been on your mind all day, and you like, "Oh well, it's late. Oh well, it's this. Oh well." Sometimes we just have to do it at that moment because we never know what the person who dropped in our heart and our mind, what they need at that moment. Maybe they need you to call them. Maybe they just need you to send a text. Maybe they like, you know what? Nobody cares. And then you send a text and tell them how much you love them, or we're just thinking about them, and that just changes their entire mood. That's something else that I've come to understand or realize about life. Like life tells us things. We are so conditioned to not listen to ourselves that we overlook things sometimes. That's like when I say follow or trust yourself. Sometimes we tell ourselves, don't go there, don't say this, don't be a part of this. And at the same time, we still do. And then be like, dang, I should have followed my first mind. But I'm going to say it's 2024. You've been surviving the global pandemic for 4 years. 4 years. We're still in it. People are still catching it. It's time for you to think about you. I'm glad I made the decision to think about me. At first, I was a little like, oh, what are people going to think? Not like y'all people, but like my family, because I'm like the go to person. Like, that's me. I'm a handler. I was, no, I'm still a handler. I just handle things that concern me more. I work on me more. I spend more time with me. I go to the movies by myself. I go to dinner. I spend more time with me. I reward me more. Before I didn't celebrate any of the things that I did, but I've been celebrating. I be celebrating everything now. And just when when I tell y'all like today has been a day, I was just sitting and thinking like, man, I've been in Chicago, Detroit, Bahamas. I done been everywhere. I done accomplished some major. I'm a member. I'm a professional member of the Recording Academy. I got a video I'm gonna do about that. I've accomplished a lot of things in the year, and I think if I had not made the decisions that I made in 2022, none of this would have been possible because I wouldn't be here. I would still be. I would have been so stubborn in 2022 that I would have just been like, "What happened to her?" Well, she had this, and instead of her making the decision to do this, she just chose. I was hell bent on not doing nothing. I was gonna let whatever it was be, but I had to think. I had to think, and I had to let go of a lot of things, and it took courage to do the things that I did. And I always thought I didn't have courage, but that let me know that I have courage and I am strong. And anything that I set my mind to, I can accomplish. And I'm saying these things because maybe you have thoughts about something that you want to do or you've been wanting to do and you just wasn't sure. Do it. If you haven't been happy your whole life, now it's time for you to be happy because we are in a pandemic. We are currently 10, 9 days, however many days away from putting a new person as the president of the United States of America. There's so much that could be said about that, but I'm not going to say too much, but I will say this. I'm wrapping it up. as we prepare to go into who we're to vote for the next president of the United States of America, I'm going to say this because I'm an African American woman. And those of you who are thinking about voting for President Trump because he gave you a stimulus check in the last since the pandemic, go and actually do the research. I don't really care who you vote for, but don't vote for somebody just off of something that you don't vote for money. Don't do that. I mean, there's so many different. Hear people like it's so many people like, oh, I'm not voting for Kamala because the Democrats are going against the Bible, and I literally was like, the Bible. People read that. People actually are going with people still listen to the things, or people still follow the things of the Bible. Like, how you don't follow anything of the Bible, but then say, I'm going to for over here because they don't do it. You're doing the Bible tells you don't lie, don't cheat. You're doing the very things the Bible say don't do, but you're not going to vote over here because it's been so many different things. I'm not voting for her because she don't know if she's black. She's a woman. I don't think that she's going to be able. I don't care who you vote for, but I want you to be so sure in your reasoning for voting. That's all I want you to be so sure. And if you are one of the people that's saying I'm not going to vote because my vote don't matter, I want you. There's a TikTok, and a lady said in 1960 she had to pay $2 to go and vote. She's a black woman. She said she had to $2 to go and vote. Here you have the option. All you got to do is take your ID and you can go vote for free. Do the research. Do the research. Don't just vote for somebody because of if they're male or female. Don't just vote for somebody because of their race. Look at the things that they are actually saying that they're going to do, they're not doing. Look at those things. Look at them and make a formed decision. I know that you are really intelligent. You are highly intelligent. And I know I be hearing people say, like, been having conversations with people like you are really going to vote for the person you're going to vote for. And I'm not saying telling you who you should vote for, but I want to know why. You know, because of stimulus checks, or because he's upfront with his how he feel about other races. He makes a good point about building a wall, and I'm just looking like, what? Or she says that she's going, and I'm just looking like, listen, at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell y'all who I'm voting for. I'm voting for Kamala Harris because I feel like she is the most qualified out of a lot of people who have went to be the president of the United States of America. She's have the experience, and not just because she wants to be, because she's the person who should be. She has the experience. She is some of her things, a lot of things I don't agree with, but some of them I do. And I feel like it's time for a change. So there's other things, but I just said that because I'm not trying to be too much on politics, but yeah, I know who I'm not voting for. And I can tell you numerous reasons of why I'm not voting. January 6th. I mean, I could tell you numerous reasons why. Former president, it's a lot of reasons why. But like I said, I don't care who you vote for as long as you vote, because this was determined the next 4 years of our life. We have already. Hi, Miss Flames. I'm over it. Like, I literally have so much mail of who to vote for, who not to vote for, why you should vote for this person. Why in my front, I just take it and put it in the garbage because it's too much. It's overwhelming. Then you watching YouTube or wherever you watch, and there's ads that pop up and say, "Well, this person doesn't agree with this person, and this person they're eating cats and dogs." It's too much. It's entirely too much for me. I'm over it. That's why I'm voting early. I'm going this week to vote because I'm not going to wait to the last day and be like, oh man, I couldn't get to the polls. Nah, I'm going to vote. Whoever you vote for, just vote. But be informed in your voting. Be informed. Don't just vote because of the color. Don't just vote because of male, female. Don't just vote because of stimulus checks. Don't just vote because you don't think that a woman will be a good person in office, because that's saying a lot about you. You probably didn't know that, but that's saying a lot about you. If you have mothers, sisters, aunties, uncles, daughters, nieces, and nephews, that says a lot. You might not be thinking about it. You might just say it out loud and be like, yeah, I'm not. That says a lot about you. It says a lot. If you have those brothers, sisters, daughters, nieces, nephews, aunties, um, this election is definitely about women's reproductive rights. It's about women. You should just form. I could talk all day about what you should know, but you should do some research. If you're not gonna go pick up a book or read it, go on TikTok. I can't believe I just said TikTok. But TikTok got some good videos that's telling you reasons why you should and why you shouldn't vote. Just be informed in your decision. Don't just make it because, especially because she's not black. She don't know if she is black. She's a woman. A woman cannot run. A woman don't know. The woman will tear this country down. Do you know? I could tell you how many things that I've heard, and I'm just sitting here looking like, okay, this country has been ran by men for I don't know how long, and it's been. Anyways, so you really get to see the real character of different people when it comes time to vote, which is so weird. I mean, I be watching people all the time, and I've listened to people in these last couple of days. It's like, yeah, I'm going to vote because, and I just look like, what? That is so. She locked up so many black men, and I was like, but Donald Trump. I said his name. Damn. He got 5 people who were innocent locked up, took out massive pages in the newspaper to get them locked up, and still haven't apologized to them. In 2024, they spent a large majority of their childhood, young adulthood in jail, and this man still hasn't apologized in 2024. Did y'all hear what he said at the debate about the young man who hmm, I don't know. I kind of want to go live and do a whole like, these are why you should hear. Let's just lay out the facts. Let's just lay out the facts. I could give y'all my theory on how it's all gonna go down, but I'm gonna do that closer. When we get closer to the time, I'm gonna tell y'all what I feel like it's gonna go down because hmm, America, America is such a great place to live. Citizens of America, land of the free, home of the brave, America. Yeah, America. But anyways, that's all I got. I just wanted to come and talk to y'all about grief. Like this damn presidential race is it's a lot. But that's all I wanted to come and talk to y'all about. I'm about to play Call of Duty Mobile on TikTok for a little bit, and then I'm gonna play it on Twitch and Kick. But I just wanted to come and talk to y'all about grief because maybe you are somebody who feel overwhelmed and you want to cry or you feel like you need to cry, but you're just like, I could do other things with my time rather than crying. No, cry. Ask yourself why you're angry. Ask yourself the hard questions. Show up for yourself. Cry. You're surviving a global pandemic. It's time for you to think about yourself. What makes you happy? What makes you sad? What makes you angry? And if that has been your life previous to this global pandemic, it's time for a change. Don't you want to be happy? Someone told me the other day, you speak like being happy is easy. I said, I never said anything about being happy is easy. It's like, what are you willing to give up to be happy? I'm willing to give up everything to be happy. I'm willing to give up this big, beautiful house just to go and sleep or just be in my truck or a sprinter van. That's what I really want, a sprinter van. I'm willing to give it all up just to be, not have to pay as much as I'm paying in bills. Hmm, I would rather just be there. I would rather be on a beach in the ocean swimming. And that's what I would really rather do. But hey, happiness. I was telling someone my 5 goals in life, my values is what my coach say. My 5 values is peace. Peace is number 1. Respect is number two. I told y'all I don't tolerate disrespect from anybody. Mama, daddy, sister, cousin, auntie, uncle. I don't care who you are. I don't tolerate it. Discipline is number three. Courage is number four. And accountability. This is how I've been able to navigate these last 4 years of my life. Anything outside, anything that gives me that little, I'm not doing it because I'm all about peace. If I'm talking to somebody and I feel that, I'm gonna go ahead and hang up the phone. It's been good talking to you, but I'm this workouts, these meditations, uploading takes discipline. It takes discipline. I have courage. I'm share with y'all what I'm about to do, the stuff I'm about to do, and I've been holding myself accountable. I haven't been uploading because I've really been in a spot of sadness. I was like overwhelmed by sadness. I'm telling you, I feel a lot better. I don't know if you were tuned in at the beginning. I was just like, but now I feel a lot better. Feel a lot better. And I'm looking forward to this week being a really amazing week. Um, I got some traveling planned. It's a lot of stuff going on and I'm excited. But listen, all the things that I said, as you get ready to vote, don't vote for no stimulus. Don't vote because somebody gave you a stimulus. Don't do that. And don't vote because she a woman and she might mess up the whole. Be informed in your voting. Be informed. That's all I got. Remember that it's important for you to use your words. That is the only way that anyone will ever know what you are feeling or what you are thinking. I will never let a live video, vlog, short, anything that I present and you see my beautiful face or you hear my lovely voice go out without me telling you to love yourself. Mm, my heart just leaped right there again. Love yourself. This includes your faults, your fears, and your failures. You have to love you regardless. That unconditional love everybody be talking about. Oh, unconditional. I want somebody to love me unconditionally. It starts with you. That's why I said faults, fears, and failures. Because sometimes we don't love ourselves when we like make a mistake. We don't really love ourselves. We so hard on ourselves when in actuality we should be giving ourselves love because you made a mistake. Long as you have this, you will make a mistake. It's just how you recover from it. Know yourself. Everybody, before we get on these social media, before we go outside, we already know who we are, what we want out of life, and how we plan to get there. Don't let out nobody else, anybody else change you. Know yourself. Trust. Trust yourself. This includes the hairs that stand up on the back of your neck, the goosebumps you get in your arms, the feeling you get in the pit of your stomach, that loud or that small voice. Trust it because it will not lead you wrong. It's trying to protect you. So trust it. And most importantly, just be yourself. Why? Because you need you. I need you. This great big old world needs you to be authentically you. Now, having said that, anybody that cannot love, respect, or appreciate you for you being authentically you, they do not deserve to be in your space. You are currently surviving a global pandemic, have been for the last 4 years. It is time for you to learn, set, and understand boundaries and stand 10 toes down on them and live. If you haven't been paying attention to the news, there's so many things that's going on, especially this presidential race. Like I said, be informed when you go to make your vote. Don't vote for the typical they gave me a stimulus check. She don't know black. She's a woman. She's gonna tear it all down. And he's go be informed. Look at the policies. Don't just look at the policies for today, what you're thinking about. Think about women's rights. If you have sisters, cousins, aunties, uncles, nieces, nephews, think about women's rights. Think about the educational system. Think about all the systems that we have in place right now. Think about it before you go and vote. That's what I'm saying. Just think. Make sure you get your toiletries, non-perishable food items, water, disinfectants, that's some cash money, coins, or anything that you deem valuable to the side because we don't know what is going to happen, but you want to be prepared. Because do you remember what happened in 2020? We were trying to find tissue and water and disinfectant spray and like all of the simple things that we like have right now. Like You had to have a piece of paper in order to be outside to go to work. It was a lot going on. I just want you and your family to be good and even, anything pop off. Because depending on who's going to be the next president, we don't even know. Y'all don't know. Have y'all read 2025? Have you even just did highlights of 2025? I don't mean the year, I mean project 2025. Is you should be in the know about. You should be in the know. And if you or someone you love is engaged in adult activities, make sure that you wrap it up because despite being in a global pandemic for 4 years, the STD rates are rising, especially in the youth. That's all I got. If y'all want to come hang out, I'm going to be on my TikTok. It's Shelle's Closet. Shelle's Closet. Come and hang out. I'm going to be over there playing a game, doing some karaoke. I don't know. I feel like doing something tonight. So I'll probably just paint, color, do puzzles. I don't know. I'm up. I'm up like Chuck. Anyways, that's all I got. Until next time, I love you. I love you. I love you. Probably like, girl, you don't even know me. I love you. I love you for being you. I love you for tuning in and hanging out with me for an hour and 30 minutes where you could have been anywhere else, but you was here. That's all I got. I love you. Peace.